All right, so good morning. I'm going to try this again here. And here we go again. Another testimony to perseverance. But we'll start there and I'll see if anybody comes in. And we'll see, hopefully, this will work. But I figure I'll try again and see what happens. Yes, yes. So let's see. Welcome to I Bring It Every Day. And let me see here. Hopefully, yep. I'm going to just check. Let's try this again. Whoops. All right. Oh, we got somebody here in chat. Thank you for coming in. Oh boy, we got a lot of people live today. Did not mean to do that, but it is what it is. Okay, so now this is what we'll do. Welcome to I Bring It Every Day. This is Motivation Monday, and what I like to do is I like to start the week out on a positive note and try to set the intention of doing some good stuff for the rest of the week. And we try to make a plan and then work positive movements toward that plan to make sure that we all move forward in our lives. And that's really the plan of I Bring It Every Day. And I started doing this about a year ago to sort of psych myself up, just to keep moving forward and growing and trying to be the best human being that I can be. Yep. So this is why we're here. But I'm going to just show you. I did this, my little live stream died a little earlier, but I'm going to show you a little bit about perseverance. And every week I try to get out a couple of positive messages. And so this quote is from Michael Jordan, and I will read it for you. And also, please like the live stream if you can, and share it out if you want. And here we go. So this is about perseverance. And Michael Jordan says, obstacles don't have to stop you. If you run into a wall, don't turn around and give up. Figure out how to climb through it, go through it, or walk around it. So that's a pretty good example of perseverance. And the last time let's see, yeah, there we go. I'm there. There we go. Yep, we got 10 people. Thanks so much for coming in. So anyway, so perseverance. So the biggest thing is with perseverance, you have to, sometimes things don't always work out, right? And I'll give you an example. My live stream earlier didn't work out. And so you have to keep trying and you have to find a different way around it to make things work. And that is the story of life, because sometimes things are smooth sailing and sometimes they're not. But when they're not, you have to figure out how to not fix, but just alter or change what you're doing to get yourself moving forward. So there it is. So this is a good example of perseverance, and that's Michael Jordan. All right, and hang on just a second. I'm just going to try to get into my chat if I can. Okay, fingers crossed. There it is. Okay, so we got Suzanne. Thank you so much. We got Shatika. Welcome. Let me just say hi to everybody. 4T, hello. We're back again. Yep, Suzanne and Lisa Knits. All right, good. Thank you so much for coming back. Yes. So that's kind of the story. So we're doing some more perseverance. And I have to retitle my title. I thought I saved this title, but it did not. I had to reuse a previous thing here. So that's the first one. Now this was the one that originally I was, and I talked about perseverance last week. So that's what this is about. So we're just gonna build on that. And then this one here is Norman Vincent Peale. And hopefully you can see that. Yep. And Norman Vincent Peale, this was the first thing that moved me. I usually Sunday nights I try to think about what I want to talk about. And this one here is just having faith, basically. And he says, believe it is possible to solve your problem. Tremendous things happen to the believer. So believe the answer will come. It will. And that's Norman Vincent Peale. Yes. Yep. Oh, thank you, Shatika. Oh, yeah, here we go. Oh, thank you. No, I missed your thing. Oh, there's Ashley. Sorry. Let me go back. So anyway, this is Norman Vincent Peale. And he's a good motivational speaker, but he speaks in terms of faith. So there it is there. Okay, so I see Ashley's here. Welcome in. And Shatika said, Lord knows we all need inspiration and motivation. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome. And then Suzanne said she did a crochet dish scrubby this morning with Red Heart Scrubby yarn. Did a few dishes. Okay. That's cool. So thank you so much. And then Shatika says, awesome. Okay. So anyway, I want to make sure you guys see that. But those are the two things that were on my mind. And then I'll give you like one more. Let's do one more good one here. And I'll throw this one. If that's too long, let's get another piece of paper here. There we go. All right. But yeah, so we got perseverance. You gotta have, you have to have faith. And I think of George Michael. Remember that song, You Gotta Have Faith? I really like that song. And I never, I mean, some of it's a little, it's a little naughty, but the bottom line is you have to have faith. And I don't know, how much of a believer anybody is, but if you believe in a higher power, you know, believing in a higher power will get you out of a lot of really painful situations. And you just have to realize that today might not be great, but then there's always tomorrow. And and I always think about that Annie. Remember that Annie Broadway show? Uh, yeah, and those kids. That song Tomorrow. After a while, they played it so much that I started to hate it. But I understand the point of that song. Whoa. So let's see. Let's do this one, and hopefully this will make some sense too. This will give you a little kick too. I've got to write this a little bit smaller. There's a lot of words here. Successful people have fear. And this is what stops a lot of people too, fear. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yep. Successful people. And I think you'll like this one too. Okay. Have doubts. Yep. And if you're smart, you'll always sort of, I won't say you second guess what you do, but you always have to go, is that possible? But sometimes you really shouldn't, you know? Good people. Okay. Let's see if I got this right. Have worries. Yeah. And we'll talk a little about the worries. Yes. Okay. And okay. I like it. There we go. And the last part here, this is the key part here. They just don't let these feelings stop them. Yep. Yep. There's a lot of words, and I apologize for the wordiness, but I think this spells it out really well. Let these feelings stop them. They just don't let. Here we go. Stop them. Okay. Now this person here, I do not know who this is. Okay. All right. Hang on. This name is very strange here. Harv Ecker. So I don't know who this is. So I'll have to look this person up. Never heard of Ecker. Harv Ecker. So that's who said it. So that's an interesting quote. Now let's talk a little bit about this one. Okay. All right. Now let's see. So, oh, have a great day. Yeah. Thanks. Oh, there's Liz here. Good morning. There's Cecilia. Good morning. And Ashley's working on her knitting. Oh, she's doing. Oh, you're knitting outside on the deck. That's nice. Jim K, thank you. Successful people listen. That is true, Jim. Yes. Oh, and Suzanne saying, but don't put off till tomorrow what you can do today. That's for sure. Yes. Okay. And she's doing her polar bear wobbles. Nice. And good morning. Okay. Oh, could you put the Michael Jordan quote to write it down in my journal? Oh, sure. And tomorrow will always come. And I like the word hope also. Oh, we got Love Crochet Babe. Yes. Good morning. Let's get motivated. Love it. Okay, so here's Michael Jordan. And like I said, I think uh so that oh, this is for Shatika. Yeah. So, oh, you love piggybacking on the positive believer. Oh, thanks, Jim. And okay, good. I just wanted to catch up. Nice. Yeah, but definitely don't put off tomorrow. And you love that one? Yeah, the T Harv Ecker is interesting. And Liz, good to see you, Miss Liz. And let's see. Don't forget the thumbs up. Thank you. All right, I think I caught up. All right, I just want to make sure greet everybody in here. So thank you for stopping in. But anyway, the whole thing is a lot of people give up right before. They always say, no, see this. I don't know if this has happened for me, but I've heard many people say that if you hit an obstacle, you hit an obstacle, you hit an obstacle, and then people sort of give up and then they stop, trying for whatever that goal is that they're working on. And a lot of people say that you can that usually right before you're ready to give up, there's going to be a breakthrough. Now, I am not sure 100% about that because I don't recall in my life if that's ever happened, but I've heard many people say that. And let me know what you guys think about that. But they say, yeah, usually right as you're going to give up, a breakthrough happens. And so I don't know. Like I said, I cannot think of any examples in my life, but that's what a lot of people say. And yeah, so it's very interesting. So I don't know if that's true, but I've heard that. And I don't know what you guys think. But thanks for stopping in, everybody. Please, check out the channel. Come back. Please subscribe to the channel and give a like. I appreciate it. And yeah. So this is something I've been sort of doing this. Oh, 4T said he loves that one. Thank you so much. Please be kind and subscribe. Thanks, Liz. Liz is awesome. I can't believe you're awake. It's so early. Not so early, but it's pretty early. But anyway, so there's that for Shatika. And hopefully you got that. Yeah. And I'm going to put this in the description afterwards. And I always do that because this is a lot of words, I'm telling you. So hopefully you got that. But I'm going to put T. Harv Ecker back and just let me know if that was too fast. But there it is. There's T. Harv Ecker. And this is interesting here because he said that, successful people have fear, successful people have doubts, and successful people have worries. They just don't let those feelings stop them. And that is for sure. And once again, I think that goes back to the faith. You have to have faith in yourself. And you have to have a clear vision of what you want to do and where you want to go. And, if you're, and like I said, if you're a believer and you pray to a higher power, a lot of times those answers come. They don't always come in a way that, see, I don't know. Sometimes, like, it's really strange. I don't always recognize the signs all the time. And I'm not sure if that's like a lack of faith on my part, or maybe I'm just blind. I don't know. Sometimes like I think about these really esoteric things and I go, "Did I see that coming?" I don't know. Sometimes, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. And I just wish sometimes it was more like in my face cuz sometimes I need that, like I need that really strong thing. But just don't join an MLM. Yeah. Yes. Oh, those yeah, they're crazy. But yes, let's see. Thanks for stopping by. Oh yeah, don't join an yeah, multi-level marketing. That's terrible. Oh, and then Shatika saying, "Thank you. Started an inspiration journal and prayers. That's a really good idea. Notebook successfully. Need another one. Yeah, me too. Mine is pretty full. I'm almost embarrassed at how much I have in there. Oh, and those will work on a made T-shirt. Walking inspiration. Yeah, that's good. And speaking of that, and this is the other thing. So this week, I'm gonna tell my plans, even though you shouldn't. But they say, but my basic plan is to get some steps in this week. More steps. Now, last couple of weeks, I have this I have this watch or whatever, and and it monitors all of the steps and stands how much you stand up and how much exercise you get. And I've been pretty good. It's funny. Yesterday I took my watch off because I forgot to charge it the night before. And I didn't realize I had it off the full day. So I missed a bunch of steps recording all my steps cuz I was running around the house, doing laundry and crap. All that house stuff you have to do. And I was very very sad that I didn't record my steps cuz it looked like I had an off day yesterday. But my watch was charging. So I have to get better about putting my watch on the charger at night. But anywho, for the last probably 2 or 3 weeks, I've been keep getting my steps in, according to Mr. Apple Watch or whatever. And so I want to like keep that going and sort of kick up the exercise just a little bit more, just to keep the body moving because, this YouTube, even though I enjoy doing YouTube, it's a nice, creative outlet for me. That's what I call it. And I really want to keep myself from sitting too much. And that's really the biggest thing. And I forget where I was reading this, but they say that, being sedentary has a really negative effect on your body. So I just encourage everybody, to get up throughout the day and try to walk, even if it's, up the stairs, down the stairs, around the corner, even just go out in the backyard and walk or front yard and walk a little bit to keep that blood flowing because they say sedentary lifestyle is, really, really hard on the body. So, keeping yourself good. Yes. And okay, and Liz is saying good morning to Shatika and into all in the chat and happy Palm Sunday. Yes. And oh, I know that's right. So Suzanne's saying, I wish smartwatches prevented unhealthy food from entering my mouth. Yeah, that is hilarious. Yeah, that is a thing, isn't it? And let me tell you, oh gosh, I just saw this thing. This is so tragic. You know how so I like to eat pasta, everybody. I mean, I don't know anybody who doesn't like pasta, but they were saying that pasta when it's made by commercial makers, when they extrude it through the dyes, they say that there might be Teflon on the dyes. I hope that's not true because Teflon's one of those forever chemicals that's not good for you. And I'll just put it that way. So anyway, I hope that's not true, but they're saying like some of that stuff, if you look in the supermarkets, I call it the pasta from Italy. It's real rough and it's not real pretty, but that's the stuff. It's kind of homemade-ish. And if you can do your own pasta, that's probably better for you. And in terms of food and all that stuff, it's better for you to make your own food because you sort of know at least what goes in there. And, in terms of the United States, a lot of us, because fast food is so easy, uh, a lot of people just, you know, want to eat the fast food and it's quick and easy. But you just got to remember that it's not always in your best interest to eat that stuff. Yeah. So there's that. So, but anyway, I just like to say, and Nightbot's thanking everybody. I like to say thank you to everybody who's supported the I Bring It Everyday channel. 4T's been a member, and I really appreciate it. And I hope, I hope everything's going well with your studies and thing like that. But let's do one more. Yeah, about 18 minutes in. Let's do another good quote. So, like I said, so we talked about perseverance, we talked about faith, and then that it's realistic to have fear and doubts. But remember, if you're finding that you have fear and doubts, and a lot of people recommend that gratitude journal, so Shatika was talking about, and I think that's a good thing to sort of write down. Like, just keep in mind what is working in your life. When you're having those negative times, think about what's working. You know, and then that sort of helps eliminate a little bit of the stress of what's not working. And I've been really, really working that for a long, for probably about a year now, just trying to work that. So that's always a good thing if you're, like I said, write down like kind of what you're thankful for. Okay, now this is good. This is Franklin Roosevelt. I've used this one before, but this kind of talks a little bit about similar to the Michael Jordan quote. Okay. And I don't know if you guys know Franklin Roosevelt, but he was a four-term president, the only one. And he came at the Depression, right before the Depression. And he was president from like the 29 to about 45, 1929 to about 1945. And I remember looking at pictures of him. When the presidents go through office, when they come out, when they go in, they're young and perky, and when they come out, they look like somebody ran them over with a truck. And boy, he was really ill. But he had other, illnesses going on. But anyway, when you come to the end of your rope, and I really like this one. Oops, your rope Yes. Tie a knot. Tie a knot. And hang on. Okay. I think that's it. Yes. Okay. Okay. Franklin Roosevelt. It's a long name. Okay. Franklin D. Yes. Yeah. Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Okay. So that's what he said. When you come to the end of your rope, tie a knot and hang on. And that really talks about where when you feel like you want to give up, you shouldn't. You just have to tie a knot and hang on. And I think that's good. Yeah, and that's what he talks about. Yes. Oh no, it is not. Oh, oh hi, Matt Michaels. It's not a history lesson, but I'll tell you just a little bit. Um, so Franklin Roosevelt, yeah, he was a four-term. He was the only four-term president in the United States. That is true. And but what was the whole point of what I was going to say? Oh yeah, yeah, he was in office for so long, and he was the one that sort of established Social Security, all the I call them. Can't think of the official word they call them, but they're the programs that helped people out in terms of money. Trying to get the country back to work. So they did infrastructure. They did. They built some of the national parks. With federal money, improved the roads. Like there's just like a whole bunch of stuff. But the big thing was the Social Security, you know, retirement plan that they set up for people because people had just come through the Depression and World War II, and the United States started really like building up a lot of their manufacturing and stuff like that. And there was like it was kind of a boom, after World War II, like after he passed. But the whole thing with him is, like his family really had, they were very, very wealthy. They were kind of like what a lot of the presidents have been, but he also did, but like I said, but the thing was he did a lot of social programs. That's what I'm trying to say. Did a lot of social programs. And but I thought this was a pretty decent quote, that he came up with. And like I said, his family was, he came from wealth. Okay, let's see. All right. Deep meaning of knot in a rope. That's right. That's right. And then Shatika's saying, I like that one, especially these days when many are stressed and overwhelmed. Yes. And let me tell you, I am feeling the same way. I'm pretty, I'll be transparent about that. So I've been doing a lot of praying, to be honest, just to keep a sound mind, not to let some of this stuff, that to get to me, you know what I mean? Because I think a lot of it is, it's definitely, chaotic and disruptive and things like that. So I always say to people, just pray for peace of mind. Pray that that this country will hold together, in terms of, economically, although it's looking kind of scary, honestly. Um, and I'm hoping that, oh, yeah, yeah, tie a Boy Scout knot, not a noose. That's right. Yeah, but a lot of people are stressed out. And that is very, very true. And just behind the scenes, talking to people on YouTube, a lot of people are afraid to really talk about how they're feeling. But it is clear to me that people are hurting right now. And I just hope that, we can all sort of, get through this weird economic time that we're living in. So, but the only good thing that I have noticed, in terms of like if you compare the Depression, back in the 20s to now, we're not in a depression, but I will tell you, there's definitely, see, okay, so one of my, I had a client back in the day, and my client said the thing that was scariest about the Depression was that people didn't have food and they didn't have means of growing food. And that's where people got into trouble because they were starving. And I said, oh my gosh, they were starving in the United States. That's crazy. And they show those pictures of those bread lines and stuff. Yeah, which was a lot, right? So, but the only good thing is, I've noticed in my area there are a lot of food banks, so people are not hungry, at least from what I can tell. So, thank the Most High for that. You know what I mean? But I just say that a lot of it has been very. It's been weird. It's been a weird time, and and I'm just gonna say that for myself. It's been strange, but just like I said, don't try not to worry. Ask for guidance. From the Most High, and that's my opinion. And I would say it doesn't hurt. You know what I mean? Yes. Okay. All right. So that's it. So that was the main one here, and then I'll set. We'll talk just a little bit about setting goals, and this will be the last one here. Oh, now this is a good one. And I don't know how you feel about Ted Turner. Does anybody remember Ted Turner? But I kind of like this one. He was an interesting fella. I don't know. I'm not sure about like how I feel about Ted Turner. He did some interesting things, but here we go. There's Ted Turner. And this is what we always talk about. You should. Yep. You should set goals. Hmm. Yeah, and I knew I saw this somewhere, and I was talking about this a couple weeks ago. Your reach. Hmm. Okay. And this is hopefully this will be a good way to almost end this here. Okay. Okay. Bam. All right. So there it is. And then that's Ted Turner. Ted Turner. Ted Turner. And he was the one that started CNN and some other TBS, CNN, bunch of TV channels. He was kind of a character. And that's really all I know about him. But, started several TV networks. That's crazy, right? Yep. So you should always set goals beyond your reach so you always have something to live for. And that's really where I'm going to end it. You always want to have something to live for. You know what I mean? So when you talk about your gratitude journal, that always comes back to media mogul. Yes. Yes, and the Most High helps those who help themselves. Oh, oh my gosh! Wait, hold on. Let me go back. Oh, this is crazy. Okay, asking how Liz is. Good to see you, Liz. 4T. Oh yeah, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. Yep. And then let's see. She's saying hi to everybody. Okay, so Suzanne said I watched Michael Bordenaro for interesting economic content. Yeah, and I think you should look at all different types of information. Look at everything. So look at some of those TV pundits. Look at, and I also say look at a little bit of the history of the economic situation in the United States, and look at the trends. See if there's any trends. Um, yeah, she's doing better. And then, oh yeah, Shatika said my neighbor smokes 2 packs of cigarettes a day. That's stress. That is terrible. Yeah, and it's not good for you. It really isn't. Yep. And then media mogul, and then my help comes from the Lord. That's what Shatika say. Nice. And then a 4T's doing well. Never been better. Tomorrow's English speaking test. Or you're nervous. Don't be nervous. And we got Lee Selvage said hello. Good to see you. Welcome in. And don't be nervous, 4T. Yep, just study. You'll do great. I love it. Thanks, Liz, for cheering him on. Yeah, that's the whole thing. So and I'll just throw that in too, 4T. The whole thing is being prepared. And now prepared is a very broad term. But the one answer to that would be, did you study for the test? Did you spend time? And I always say, like, give yourself time to, digest the material, put it down, meditate on it, kind of think about what it means. See, I think a lot of people, and this is my little rant about public school. I think the problem, well, he's in a different country, but public school in the United States is sort of, uh, spitting out facts, reciting facts, and things like that. But you don't really talk about applying the things that you learn. So, the critical thinking. And I always like to say to people, try to understand, you know, you have to memorize the facts and rules and things like that. But then you also have to figure out what it means. Try to apply it, and that way you get a better understanding of what it is you're studying. So, but I know like language is tough because like our brains, after a certain age, I think people have difficulty with other languages. You know what I mean? And including me. Like I know a little bit of Spanish, and I think also English is not an easy language to learn. But like take time, to just meditate on the stuff that you see. But good luck. Yeah, we're cheering on 4T. Yes. But also make sure that you're calm. Okay, this is the last thing. Make sure that you're calm when you take your test. So try to get some sleep tonight. Eat well before you go. Try to get your mind going, and then just try to be as calm as possible because you're going to do better when you're calm. Yeah, and that's my little bit there. Yes, and then okay, through eternity. Oh, nice. Hopefully I got that right. Take time for yourselves. Pressure creates diamonds. Yes, but it also creates rubble. Ortis, I like it. Yes, see, I really believe that too. Yeah, I said I think so many people are under so much stress. And see, in stress they say causes all kinds of I'm not a doctor, but they say, heart issues, heart attacks. They always say, I don't know if you guys knew this, but like I think heart attacks happen Monday morning. Not a surprise actually, if that's true. And I forget where I read that, but it's just in my brain. They say that, so the whole thing is to try not to. Yeah, you got to take care of yourself. That's for sure. Because yeah, rubble. That will. Yep. You will crumble under the stress if you don't find ways to eliminate or relieve that. So we really appreciate that through eternity. Yeah, we like it. Well, thank you for coming in. I love it. So, so that being said, I will go through. Let's see. How long have I been on? I can't even tell. Oh, there we go. 32 minutes. That's perfect. And we got 13 people. Thank you so much for coming in. So I always say thank you so much for supporting the I Bring It Every Day channel. Please come back and check it out. I've been doing these for about a year, a little bit more, year and about year and 3 months or so, and it's been fun. Just trying to keep everything on a positive note, and just for everybody, for the people that don't know, I decided to try to go high, try to be more of a positive influence on social media because there is a lot of negativity. And I'm hoping that this will, this little corner of YouTube, that people will see it here and there eventually. And, share me out if you don't mind, if you like what you heard today. And, and I'm gonna just keep going. And I have a few loyal followers. I really appreciate everybody who comes in and listens, and supports me. And like I said, I like to do this more of an interactive situation. But yeah, I'm gonna just put these couple quotes while I'm talking. But yeah, I just like to say, I really appreciate people, following me on this path. I hope that we can all sort of uplift each other instead of tear each other down. And and that's really it. And so like I said, and just as my little, side story, there's just I've seen so I'm new to social media. I've only been on about 3 years. And I've seen so much negativity on social media. And I'm very shocked. I shouldn't be, but I am very shocked by it anyway. I am. And, I'm just hoping that like this little corner, that we can help each other out and be positive. And that's kind of, where we are. That's kind of where we are with it. I bring it every day. So thank you so much. Cozy corner. Yes, yes. And I'm so glad you see that 4T. Because that's it. I don't want to, and I don't mind if people express their opinion because it's fine. And I think that's where we've lost ourselves. In this country, people are scared to express an opinion, and then they don't want to get beat up about it. And I understand that. But yeah, it's pretty tough. It's hard out here. But like I said, I appreciate. all the support on the channel. And I hope you come back. And I try to come on around this time. And usually it's 8 o'clock Eastern ish. So I came on about 8:15 today. But I just wanted to make sure that I had everything flowing. So it's looking good. All right now. Yes, cozy corner. So anyway, thank you all so much for coming in. I appreciate you. Come back. And if you have any comments, and I appreciate the eternity. That was pretty cool. Yes, I like that quote. And somebody else gave me a quote. And I forget who it was now. Yep. Well, Suzanne gave me a couple quotes. Those are good. Yep. So yeah, it's good. So like I said, just do the best you can, and that's all you can do, and be the best person that you can. All right now. So I think we did it. Yes. Anything else? But 3 packs. Wow, that's crazy. All right now. Well, listen, we'll see you soon on the YouTube streets. Take care, and peace and love, and have a good week. Okay. Bye bye.